I'm trying to use live for once on YouTube after it's been years because they lost my subscribers I had for like 4 years. They just totally freaking lost them all. Then they wanted me to go backwards, start all over again. And so I had to do that jumping jack thing. And now they've got new news. They want me to do a whole nother sparkly at my wazoo. Oh yeah, they want me to have 1,000 subscribers. I'm like, what? You know what? How about veterans discount? How about that? And I'm a senior. Would you give me a break? Just give me a break. I've already been here longer than you. All right. So today I want to talk about something really neat because I've looked online because I have one. I want you to see it. I want to know things about it before my time runs out. And I don't know how much time they're going to give me on this video. Yeah, YouTube doesn't tell you that. Yeah, it's just a guessing game while they would crack that whip and they want you to do more stuff. Yeah, and I thought this platform was supposed to be about, you do your thing, man, and you're all good to go. But I guess not. It's okay. So back to my eBay issue because it's kind of confusing, but it's not. eBay, I think, is going bankrupt. Some people have been audited. There's stores missing. There's hundreds and thousands of categories and items missing. Me personally, on my eBay page, when you go on to eBay and you click in the title of my store, it's Tequila Sun Trading, all one word, okay? In the search bar, it doesn't come up. You're going to get this weird, funky page with some books and some tequila. Yeah, not that I'm opposed to books and tequila, but I can't. That's not my stuff. Here's some of my samples of stuff. I got an antique textile here from the 1920s. I've got some badassery. Yep, that's not an illegal word. Turquoise and silver, antique stuff from all over the world, mostly Native American stuff, but I have some incredibly old Asian stuff also as well. And I think, I got a fossil on there. And I got some name brand clothes and some rare Hummer H2 truck parts. Hey, it does not look like a garage sale. It looks pretty good, I think. All right, so if that search bar is still busted, not bringing up my name, it does take you into a page of weird stuff, and it does look like a garage. Scroll down until you see my beautiful Texas sunrise. I have a beautiful picture of a beautiful Texas sunrise in the sun, and it's called Tequila Sun Trading. Click on that. It'll take you to my store, and you can look at my stuff I've got. I'm trying to have some cheaper stuff available. It's just going to take me some time. I'm going to have a whole bunch of these Crown Royals. You can't get these anymore. And I've got some rare ones. I just want a couple bucks, but now shipping has gone up. It's insane, like they're smoking a crack pipe. All right, I'm going to get you through some stuff today on antique textiles because all these rich white men have done YouTube channels. I'm not rich. I'm not totally white. I ain't no man. And I'm going to tell you because I'm 64 years old. I'm part Native. And I grew up on the Native American Indian Reservation. No, I dumped my jewelry on something good. I dumped it on an American flag there. All right, because this needs to be said. It needs to be found out. Oh, yeah, I'm going to be careful with my bubba. We just got that recently. Here in Texas. Okay, so there was a certain time period on these Mexican rugs, Mexican blankets, Mexican bedspreads, Mexican serapes. They were called serape for a really long time. And it's part of the degradation of the history of the Latin American, Mexican American peoples. And it's not totally cool, man. It isn't. And some of you have been watching my channel. You already know how I am. I'm not a very happy camper about people who degrade cultures, change their language, make stuff up. That includes Bibles, that includes other people of other cultures and other colors. Today, this is going to be about my brother, the Mexican American, the Mexican. Because in Mexico, there were different types of people. And the original people came from the indigenous, from the Indians. That's right. Later on, they became part Spanish. Somebody in my family, that's the line that they claim, that they were part Spanish. All right, so if you were looking at really old textiles, or you go shopping somewhere and you think you see an old blanket, I want to tell you that originally they were not all draped around some Mexican shoulders, and they weren't siestaing and sleeping all day long up against a brick wall. It's gross and disgusting. That is not what happened. Textiles were made by hand and made by simple looms for a really long time. If you look on some of the stuff that you get and you look at it really careful, really close, like on the edges, I'm going to try and see if I can get my iPhone to cooperate today, and I can show you how this looks on the edges. This I learned how to do weaving like this when I was in school, when I was young. I already told you how old I am. Old. This weave here, if you look at it, see how it's lumpy on the edges? And it almost looks like you could take a straw and slide it in and out of there. Now, when I was learning how to weave when I was really young, well, my parents beached me out for it. But I love to weave. I've been a weaver my whole entire lifetime. I have weaved and wove something. I like it. I'm 64 with arthritis. I had an accident in the military, almost decapitated both my wrists right off my arms, and I can still do some. See that lumpy edge here? You're not going to read any book. You're not going to talk to any white person who's going to tell you what I'm about to tell you. See how lumpy it is right here on these edges? That's where it attached to the loom. And they had to pull strings through there. And when they pulled those strings through there, those strings came down to the bottom. And then they gathered those strings up. And all this stuff had to be married in together. They had to take the different colors and add them in together. So, see how it is down here? It looks a little bigger, thicker, stronger. I'm trying to get this just right. I'm still on my iPhone. I wish somebody would bless me with a nice one. Bigger, thicker, stronger, because this was the edge of the loom. You're not going to see that with machine made. Right. Also, you can look at your trim down here in the bottom, and I'm going to tell you something that I learned from the Native American Indians. You're not going to hear from any white person. When the stuff was knotted, sometimes you can tell, and we used to call these doubles and triples, stuff like that. There's actual slang terms for them, because some of the strings were extra long and some of them were not. That doesn't always have anything to do with age, because I had a Native American weaver tell me this a really long time ago, before most people were born. And I'm losing most of my live viewers. I wish I wasn't, because this is going to be a really good show. You're not going to get this from anybody else. The reason why some of them were triple coming down is just because they had extra string. That's all. And they want to get fancier, prettier. It doesn't have anything to do with telling what the age is, but it looks like this is a double. And if you look really closely and you look at the actual knot, you'll actually be able to see if they were right-handed or left-handed where they tie those knots in the string. I can't get this. And this is really old, and I wanted to show you. And I wanted to know if I had a right-hander or a left-hander. Yeah, I kid you not. It's just because I want to know. So if you look how that knot is twisted around and tied in a knot, and it looks like this was a double row, but it started to fall apart. Yeah, here's one here, and then there's a second row here. This is what's called a double row strand. Okay, so this is really important also. If you're looking at old stuff, a lot of it's going to have areas where they married the fragments of like, this is wool. So they used a type of wool yarnage. The natives always told me they would call it yarn. I don't know what the white people call it. I don't know. I only know my native stuff. And you can kind of see where they tied in. And you're usually not going to get that with something that's machine done. They changed the color and they had to tie in with their fingers. Yeah, women sat around and did that all day long. This one is actually these dyes, and the reason why this looks so neat, looks like a sunset, and you can see it on the page. You can see the colors and see how kind of awesome and pretty that is. And it looks like a Tom Mix cowboy movie thing. Oh, then I was going to tell you about the serape thing. Is because they use cactus and different types of flowers to come up with a natural dye. Yeah, I kid you not. And some of it was from bugs. Yeah, yeah, because somebody told me earlier that the Nepal cactus, uh, the Nepal or the prickly pear cactus is used a lot, and you can get a lot of color out of the prickly pear cactus, different types of colors. Actually, not just pink and red, but a lot of Google search doesn't know that anymore. Yeah, I know because I grew up that way. And I've already been there, done that. I have been through all this. I've made dyes from cactus. I have skinned a cactus. I've eaten cactus. I've cooked with cactus. Oh, yeah, I know the whole thing. So the Nepali fruit is going to give you more of these colors, the pinks and the reds, and usually some really beautiful bright reds. This is from about the 1920s, so it's kind of faded. It's, All right, so a lot of people call these serapes, but the serapes were real popular when this actually was made. This is a real one. Later on, there were copy serapes made because people were still saying that Mexicans were lazy and laying around and taking a nap, and yeah, and you saw them taking siesta with a big sombrero. Yeah. Okay, so Mexicans didn't. Not a lot of people did that in the first place. And they didn't do it after a certain time. I think after Second World War, that pretty much wasn't done anymore by anybody. This was an easy way to have a jacket or a coat before World War II, from clear back even through history, since the Incas and the Aztecs. On this one here, when you look really close, this is not a black stripe either. There's black here, but this is blue, which they nicknamed indigo. And if you look real careful, it's got some different darker and lighter. And it's not because of staining and stuff like that. The color changes. And the color changes not because it was faded. It almost looks like a pair of good blue jeans. It's because they had to hand dye the yarn, the wool yarn. So the batches of wool yarn throughout the day, throughout the temperature, or depends on how tired and busy you are and how super quick you are to pull your wool from that batch, they're going to be slightly different in color. It's not perfect because it's not a machine. People are not machines. So I know that this one's a lot older because of the color changing in the blue stripe, and it's a basic blue with hardly any black. Later on, after World War II, right around that time, 1941, 42, 43, 44, 45, right around in there, they started making it more basic black because it got easier to get the black dye. It was actually it's some colors of dyes and not that easy to make. And if you actually really look at it, it's not even a black. They left it in the dye batch longer to get the longer indigo blue. Yeah, so, yeah. These are the early tie-dye dudes, man. It's basically tie-dye. Another way I can tell this one's really old, a lot of times people go by sizes, and there's a fracture in the pattern, so it has an extra line in it. I'm going to see if I can get this so you can take a look at it. Sorry about that. This is what happens when I'm the camera crew and everything else. All right, so these fracture lines, see how it's like a digit? It goes bzz, bzz. In Native American terms, we call those thunderbolts. I don't know if the Hispanic had a name for it or not. I don't know. But the thunderbolt in the middle of the pattern, look at this one. Look at the color, and you can see how they did it by. There you go. They ran out of the perfect color. Probably when they had lunch. Probably made their morning dye, wrung it out, hung it up, started on another section, and then they had to go back and they used the stuff for the morning dye. 3 different colors here. See it? Yeah. Cool, huh? So I don't know what the Spaniards called those. I don't know if they called them thunderbolts or not. I don't know. But that also means it's an older blanket. And they still call them serapes, but they were also used as bedspreads, blankets. I mean, for rescue. Just wall covers or your couch. When I was younger growing up, they were like everywhere. And then as I got older, they were more scarce, more scarce, more scarce. This one's the 1920s. It doesn't always matter what's in the middle. The design in the middle here doesn't always tell you anything. Yeah, that's about the best I can tell you about this piece and how to look at it, how to tell how old it is. And I don't know when this video is going to run out, so I got to see if this actually works, and I can cut it and do something else with it and try to put it on TikTok, because I got a bunch of TikTok buddies over there. And I want you to come see me on Tequila Sun Trading, all one word, on eBay. I'm going to try and find another sales platform, but I've looked around and they kind of all suck, and I don't know where to go. That's just honest to God truth. I don't know what to do. And so eBay's still broken. You can come on and look around on my Facebook page, but you still have to click on the item to get to the eBay. So it's still the same. So this is Rockin' Roadshow. Hope you had a good time today. Hope you learned something. And hey, how was your serape? You're still going live. I don't know why.